Skoliosexual, Lithosexual, Squirrel, Pomosexual. No, it's not homo, it's pomo. There's so many LGBTQIAPN plus microlabels nowadays, and I am so excited to make this video because attraction and all things attraction is my scientific interest. Today we're gonna be using this tier list. As you can see, some of the tiers I have today, I borrowed the titles from NOAHFINNCE. I hope you don't mind. On the top we've got a tier titled Gorge. This is for LGBTQ titles I find immensely fortunate. And goes the tier called Valid. The mere fact that these terms were coined is great. I find them very helpful and changing society for the better. Next one is for orientations that are also valid in Samantha's view. But it's like there's some flaws in logic I can detect. And some terms and flags are that crazy that it's a crime. And you go straight to jail for coining and using them. So once again, thank you NOAHFINNCE for the idea for this video. Noah is such an inspiration for Samantha. Oh, hi, by the way, welcome back to my channel. Samantha here. Pronouns are bun self. Not really. And our first on the dock is gonna be Demi. It's not very new, right? I think it's been definitely more than a decade since I encountered this term for the first time. And I like the word Demi. I like the way it sounds. It's like music to my ears. Here's the flag of Demi, and Samantha cannot say she's a big fan of dark purple. It reminds me of an eggplant, and Samantha loves eggplants. But it's just the color on the flag, I don't know. You Demi Fox probably have to work harder.
You better work, honey.
So Demi means being attracted to someone only when you have an emotional bond with them. Is it going to be Samantha Proust approved? You'll know in a second, but first let's just hop in the time machine and get back to the early 2000s. That was when I first encountered this term while signing up on some old school dating website. There was always a step to choose your orientation, and typically there were options like straight, gay and bi only. But one day words like pan, demi and asexual also appeared on such websites. I can remember people picking asexuals or pan or demi when they were not ready to come out as gay or bi. By the way, I hope I'm not being demiphobic. This is not what I think about the demi concept today. But was it just me, or can there anyone else relate? Like, there was the time when saying I'm demi was considered, you know, like a convenient way not to say I'm gay or I'm bi. My understanding of demi completely changed when I encountered this Reddit comment. I'm not attracted to anyone's dating app profile pics. I was like, what? How is it even possible? So after I read it, now I feel like this should be included in the definition of demi. It really explains a lot, at least to me. Like, there are people who cannot be attracted to strangers. It means they cannot be attracted to celebrities. So for Samantha, who's a hookup enthusiast, it was really hard to grasp first. But people differ. This is what's called diversity. So the demi flag goes straight to the valid tier. It's not in the top tier just because Samantha is not valid, okay? I think once upon a time I used to be a person who wanted to build a strong emotional bond with someone, but honestly today Samantha is probably the opposite, which is Fraysexual, which is when people experience a strong attraction to strangers and less attraction to people they know well. This very definition is probably something that objectifies Fraysexuals, like it diminishes our experiences to mere hookups. And probably here's the better definition of Fray: attraction that disappears after an emotional bond is formed. I'm not sure if this is who I am. As I said, I do enjoy hookups. I prefer them to dates. Oftentimes I don't even need to know the person's name, you know what I mean? But I think I haven't always been like that. You know, maybe that's because once my heart was broken, but I used to be a very romantic person. I was thinking to place the Fray flag on the Gorge tier, but I'm not sure if this concept fits me. Because Frays are aromantic. This is aspec, by the way, which is interesting. And they also say they lose the physical interest in person when they know them better. Like, to me it's definitely more exciting to have a hookup with someone for the first time. You know, it's almost always worse when it's the second time if it comes to that. But there's always exceptions. Anyways, Fray is definitely valid, but it's not in the Gorge tier. The Fray folks, ganbatte kudasai. Up next is Jim Evans' Polyamorous flag, created in 1995. And can you imagine he made made it in Microsoft Paint using web-safe colors. But we don't care about the web-safe colors in the 21st century, do we? You know what? Actually, this flag reminds me of Russia, and anything resembling Russia is a crime. So this very flag goes straight to the bottom tier, but the polyamory itself is very valid. Samantha is polyamorous. And you know, there are dozens of polyam pride flag designs floating around on the internet. I think I'll just pick my fave and place it in the gorge tier because polyamory is beautiful. Osciromantic. When one feels romantic attraction when they first meet someone, then the attraction fades. Then it returns when they get to know the person and it eventually fades again. LOL, this is so Samantha. Kind of unaware what she really wants in this life, so bipolar. Alright. Anyways, there's a couple of Aussie flags and I love them both. They go to the top tier. Comment if you find the term Aussie quite relatable as well. Oh, and by the way, for every comment, Samantha's gonna give you a cookie. Oh, and by the way, someone on Reddit commented that the term had already existed. And wow, just look at how beautiful this flag is. I love all the Aussie flags. Definitely gorge. Ego or Aegosexual. They often feel detached from the subject of arousal. They may engage in fantasies, explore suggestive media, or engage in self-pleasure. They typically experience minimal attraction to others and lack the desire for the encounter itself. Sounds like a jerker, right? Jerker, you know what I mean. And it's totally fine. I believe that the self-care should be free of stigma. Self-care. And moreover, I think that this ego concept describes Samantha in many ways. Sometimes I prefer the thing to the actual force. Alright, so the ego goes to the valid tier just because I'm not too happy about the flag. Again, the eggplant colors. Like on the flag they don't seem quite cheerful to me. But this is my personal preference, it's just the flag. Change the flag. And who knows, maybe next time Samantha's gonna favor you with the gorge tier. Next one is extremely interesting because it's called Squirrel by aka chipmunk by almost aka bambi gay. The squirrel bi refers to a bi individual who prefers cuddles, hugs, kisses and other affectionate and even sensual non-shmexual acts over shmexual acts. It's the bi equivalent of bambi lesbian, bambi gay, fox pen, red ace. Wow. I like these pastel brown colors. Definitely the top tier. Additional point for the title because I love squirrels and chipmunks. You don't? Oh, Dom, you're such a soulless creature. Hey, let's check the bambi gay, which is the gay equivalent of the squirrel bi. These ones are fine as well. And I also like the name Fox Pan. Wow, this flag is even cuter than the squirrel bi. Wow. You know, it's like more concise. Alright, all the squirrels, chipmunks, foxes and rats go to the top tier. Because hugs is all you need. Sometimes it's even better than the intercourse itself. But not always. Next one is this magenta, yellow and cyan flag, which is the pan flag. Pan folks are attracted to people of all genders, asserting that gender and schmex are not determined factors in their romantic or schmexual attraction to others, which is beautiful. I love pan people. You know, the pan concept is actually very friendly to the non-binary one. Yes, we're going to talk about the Skoliosexual controversial term, but later on in this video, because next one is Pomosexual. Here's the article. Pomosexuality. Find it a term that fits. The title sounds alright to me. First, the author of this article goes with, I haven't always had 100% clarity about my sexuality. At one point in life they realized they're attracted to more than two genders and they started using the term pan, but here's the plot twist. In the story of this person who now says they're pomo, one day the term pan, the one which is crowned as being gorge, came to feel inaccurate. Let's check the definition. A pomo person rejects, has an aversion to, or does not fit any orientation such as gay, straight, bi, a. This can be because they find the typical ways of describing orientations inadequate when it comes to defining their own experience. And this sounds so relatable to me. It's similar to what I've been talking about for the last 2 years here on my channel. For real, here on this channel I always say that terms like gay and straight, like I'm not quite satisfied with them. I believe they are outdated and should be reconsidered. Just watch my other videos to get to know me better. As for pomo, you know, when I was reading this article, I almost felt like this was gonna be somewhat cheesy. Like, I would find it silly, I thought. Well, look at where I'm now. I'm one step from throwing the term pomo to the very top tier of our tier list. But nothing of the kind, because after that, the author goes with pomosexual person may or may not even feel sexual attraction at all. Sorry? Why does it sound as I'm ace, but I'm the Shmexual creature either? Pomosexual people are not interested in specifying exactly how they experience sexual attraction or towards whom. They do not want or need a more specific label. Honestly, I like the beginning of this article more better than what I've just read. You may not love the existing terms 99% of people use. Once again, I also don't like many terms such as gay and straight. I believe there are no gay people, there are no straight people, it's not how the attraction works. But kinda, the whole article, you've been struggling to find the right term, and then you found the term which is somewhat temporary solution, like the term would be fine with for now, the pomo, and then you're like, I don't need terms at all. Finding pomosexuality relieved the burden I'd always felt when trying to define my sexuality. Really? Anyways, it goes to the valid tier for the fact that pomo folks reject many other terms. I mean, I consider it a very fortunate tendency. Sapiosexual, you're sexually attracted to highly intelligent people so much that you consider it to be the most important trait in your partner. You prioritize a person's intelligence over other traits. Kind of controversial, isn't it? I mean, it's very healthy to seek a life partner who is smart, but isn't it more about intellectual connection? And we're talking about the looks in this video. I'm talking about the physical attraction and how it influences our perception of others, and maybe ourselves. For lots of people with this identity, sexual attraction or emotional connection does not occur unless they are attracted to a person's intelligence first. Well, anyways, there's gonna be a video on the sapio topic. No sapiophobic stuff out there, I promise. Samantha is very open-minded. For now, the sapio flag is gonna be placed on the meh, okay tier. But if you, sapio folks, are not gonna prove me in the comments that you're super valid, Samantha is gonna take it down to the very bottom tier. But remember, you've also got a chance for the sapio flag go to the gorge tier. It all depends on how good and well articulated your comments are gonna be, and remember about the cookies. There's the opposite of sapio, stalto, aka bimbo sexual, attracted to stupidity. I like the Urban Dictionary definition. The heart, or Shmexuality drive, wants what it wants, and sometimes that want has precious little to do with the brain. Something's telling me that staltosexual has a little bit more meaning behind it than sapio, just because it's very common to want to have schmecks with the bad boys. The bad boys are known for being very good in a certain room in your apartment. I'm in this room. So, to me, this term is even more understandable than the sapio, so let it be the valid. By the way, I hate to conform to the censorship. I know it sounds extremely stupid when I say Shmexuality. But Samantha is a small creator and YouTube is awful. It may strip me of the monetization just for this word. For real. More open and uncensored content is gonna be on my Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee real soon as I hit the 1k subs. Lithosexual, aka akoiromantic. I think that the litho identity is one of the most underrepresented on the internet. So let's check it out. The litho folks may experience attraction but do not want it returned, reciprocated. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine how hard it is to build a relationship when you're a litho? And I am almost convinced that I can relate to litho. It has something to do with, encountering only emotionally unavailable partners. It also has something to do with, being annoyed when you're overflowed with dating apps messages like, oh, you're so gorgeous, your eyes are so beautiful. I cannot say I become fully uninterested in the person who sings odes to me. But it's definitely more challenging and exciting if you don't know for sure if the person is into you or not. So anyways, I cannot say I love the flag very much, but nevertheless, the litho goes straight to the top tier of our list today, and I'm gonna explore the litho topic in my upcoming videos. By the way, have you already subbed? Subscribe shite kudasai. And finally, as someone who's non-binary, I cannot fail to mention Skoliosexuality. This term has been making waves lately on the internet. Scolio orientation describes a person who's into trans and non-binary folks. Like FreeHealthline.com says this, attracted to people who are transgender or non-binary. And you know what, Healthline.com? This is the worst imaginable definition that could have possibly been created. There cannot be an orientation for someone who's allegedly attracted only to non-binary people. Because this is non-binary, this is non-binary, and this is non-binary, and this is non-binary, and Samantha is non-binary. We all look differently. One cannot be attracted to someone based on their views about the binary of humans' biological Shmexuality. So probably what the term Scolio originally meant is an attraction to someone whose appearance is androgynous. And non-binary people have almost nothing to do with the androgynous appearance. In fact, there are few people with an androgynous appearance who identify as bi. Alok does not naturally have an androgynous appearance. Their facial features, their cranial structure are closely aligned with the characteristics typically found in those traditionally named male. This term is very controversial and don't really help raise awareness about non-binary folks. Probably there had been a term. It's androgyne-textual. It's easy. And I believe androgyny is something you're born with. You cannot choose it. You cannot out of a sudden be like, I'm androgyne now because I identify so. No. British actress Tilda Swinton is the epitome of an actual androgynous person. Not that she says she is, but she's so beautiful in both femme and masc ways. If you've got any other examples of the real androgynous people, let me know and I'll make a video based on your comments. For the non-binary thing, non-binary is such an interesting topic, and you know there are so many niche labels within the NBI umbrella. Uranic, gender folk, aka gender punk, and many others. They're so interesting, I'm roasting them in my next video, I'll see you there. But before we finish, I've gotta say this. The most valid orientations that have ever been created in history are these next two: buying coffee for Samantha textual and becoming Samantha's patron on Patreon textual. Yes, they are valid orientations, and there are already people who identify as such, and officially they are the best people in the universe. Thank you, Al, for your recent donation and buy me a coffee. I love you. So I'm roasting NBI pride flags, and I'm also roasting other orientations like abrotextual, autotextual, spectrotextual, omnitextuals, and many others in my other videos. See you there, gorgeous. Bye.